St. Robert Bellarmine once said, "It's not difficult for one seal to make many impressions that are exactly alike, but to vary shapes almost infinitely, which is what God has done in creation. This is in truth divine work." This quote resonates with me because it expresses not only that we must recognize and embrace the diversity among ourselves, but that we go further, that we recognize in that the hand of God, the expression of His divine will, and how we are called to respond to that with love. Gwen has devoted herself to that purpose. She has helped teach Bellarmine how to become better in that way, and her efforts have been fundamental in leading us and our community into a deeper understanding of what that means when it's lived out. Please join me in welcoming to the stage and thanking and honoring our 2019 St. Robert Bellarmine honoree, Ms. Gwen. So we have a few things to present Gwen with, and I'd like to start by welcoming Gabrielle Knittel, a Bellarmine alum from the class of 2002 and also a current Bellarmine parent, with a special presentation for Gwen.
Good evening, Bellarmine families, alumni, and friends. My name is Gabrielle Knittel, and I'm humbled to be here on behalf of the Bellarmine class of 2002 in honoring this year's St. Robert Bellarmine Award recipient, Gwen White. Today we recognize her as a member of the Bellarmine community who has shown exemplary compassion for one of education's most sought-after characteristics, inclusion. Gwen is a person whose love and compassion for the inclusion of students of color at Bellarmine opened doors for many and began a legacy of acceptance that will forever be part of the many sacred traditions that this school holds as core values. When speaking of school traditions, I want to let you know about one specific commencement tradition that Gwen bestowed upon me and other graduates of Bellarmine. Like all commencement ceremonies, many students wear regalia that honors their achievements. The piece of regalia that I wore back in 2002 was a kente cloth stole, given to me by Gwen White and my family. This tradition originated in Ghana in order to recognize tribal members for leadership and honor them as kings and queens of their societies. The black kente cloth, which is commonly given to African American graduates, is a symbol that recognizes maturity and achieving spiritual energy. For those who have seniors, we all know spiritual energy is needed this time of year. The kente cloth embodies these ideals. While receiving the kente cloth is meant to honor and highlight one for such accomplishments, to me, receiving this cloth was not something that set me apart from others. When I received it as a senior, it was the first time I felt equal to my peers. That I was good enough, smart enough, and prepared enough to achieve my dreams regardless of my racial and socioeconomic background. To me, it meant that I was included. Because of Gwen and others she worked with and inspired, I wasn't just some girl who got a scholarship. I was a Bellarmine graduate who was recognized for being just that. In stating this, I do not want to ignore the fact that African Americans make up a large percentage of students who have been traditionally marginalized in education because of systemic practices that once and still do plague our American schools and our society. This is something Gwen fought against for many years, and this work lives on through other educators and students whose lives she has touched. Tonight we honor Gwen for setting that tone, that all kids matter, that all students should feel included, and most importantly, societal barriers such as race, gender, or finances should not determine whether a student can achieve their dreams. Your presence at tonight's gala is proof of your support and belief for you today as a true testament of Gwen's work. I want you to know that the kente cloth she presented me with nearly 17 years ago was not the last I received. Because of the impression she left on me and the tireless love and work she put in, her message stayed with me. I later went on to receive a bachelor's degree, then a master's degree in teaching from the University of Puget Sound, became a national board certified teacher, and recently earned a principal's certificate.
That was such a surprise. Let me take a moment. I definitely will read this now. First, giving honor to God for all the opportunities that I have been afforded. I am extremely honored to be receiving such a prestigious award, the St. Robert Bellarmine. Thank you to those who nominated and who supported this nomination. Jeannie Hannigan, I know you're out there somewhere. And so thank you to my family and extended family here tonight. My mother and stepfather, Aquila and Bill Leslie. My son, Jonathan, a Bellarmine grad, and his wife, Sinja. My co-director and past Bellarmine teacher, Wendy Holcomb. My friend and past chair of the board of directors here at Bellarmine, Treva Burgess. My friends, Bob and Marilyn Zawilski. And last but not least, Barbara Henderson, current Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion here at Bellarmine. Thank you. So I want to start by thanking also Father Brian Pham and Teresa Kelly, who worked with me for all those hours of unending conversations, countless hours of trainings and road trips to all the Jesuit schools. The journey here at Bellarmine started back in the 90s, as Rob said, when Father Pham and I were asked to put a structure in place for Bellarmine to focus on recruitment, curriculum development, and retention of underrepresented minorities to become part of the Bellarmine community. We knew we needed to help all of our students, Black, white, brown, Asian, prepare for the global community they would be part of, and we hoped to be leaders in. Brian and I went to school counselors, churches, community groups, anyone that would listen, to ask families to see Bellarmine as an option, a choice in this area. Here on campus, we wanted to make sure we were prepared for our families as they began to climb up the hill. So we did faculty in-service trainings to work towards making our campus culturally competent. We also went into classrooms to speak about social justice and the power of language. Parent support group was established to help parents learn how to navigate through Bellarmine. I'm amazed at how time has passed by so quickly, and I find myself looking backwards with amazement and awe at the time that has passed and all the memories that I've accumulated along the way. I think the best way I remember it is more as a feeling and a connection. Moments that were indescribable and miraculous, filled with tears and rage and the pure joy of seeing my students finally feeling validated, understood, and empowered. In looking at our mission statement here at Bellarmine today, a preparatory school centered on Jesus Christ and grounded in his message of mercy, love, and service, we must continue to teach and serve as Jesus did to everyone. It was a privilege to be part of those families' journeys here at Bellarmine. There's a great table over here of pasta parents tonight, and I just want to thank you for being here, pasta parents, for your continued support. Thank you. I want to say this, that they played it on the monitor, but this statement is it's so important, and I just hope you hear this. What I know then, and I believe now, is that to become a multicultural nation, we must have a relationship based on respect, understanding, and reflection, where our differences and our similarities are embraced and valued and integrated into the very fabric of our workplaces, our schools, and our communities. So again, once again, I am pleased and honored and humbled to accept this award on behalf of the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.